Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. So what's going on here now? We got Martin's little LEDs out, and I've been busy for about, I'm guessing, going on 2 hours this morning. Yeah, I did press record, so we're going to have a little bit of a rollback. No sunrise this morning, I'm afraid. It's about as cold as it was yesterday morning. It's minus 22 right now, but it's cloudy. So anyway, enough about the weather. What was I doing here? I think the best thing we should do right now, without me flapping my lips here, because I don't really have any big news, at least not at the moment. I think we should roll back. Okay. Now, I was thinking about this little light that is possibly red, that is actually going to get mounted right here on this bulkhead. And this is the rear bulkhead for the forward section that we're working on right now. And what I've done is I've paged ahead to we stop working on this module in 17 and we start the next module back in 18. So the part that is going to go up against this is the J1, which I have gone ahead and nipped here. I'm just sort of trimming it up roughly here. And the idea is that we're just going to want to see how much space. Yeah, I'll file those down later or sand them down later. But how much space is there between this bulkhead and this bulkhead when they are put together? Now, I guess the way to find out for sure is to get the hull over here and see how much room there would be when these pieces are plugged in, into the hull. In other words, would I be able to run a very fine wire in between these two? And do you remember the LEDs that Martin from the Isle of Wight sent? And one of them was red. Okay, this one right here, believe it or not, this is it. And I haven't tested it yet to see what it looks like. Maybe it'd be kind of fun to just sort of hook up a couple of batteries and run it. They're all 3 volts, so I think the easiest way would be just take a couple of AA batteries and put them in a series, and yeah. Maybe I'll just quickly do that and just see what does it look like. Does it look red? Anyway, my thinking is, could I possibly mount this little LED maybe underneath where this bulb is supposed to come? Would that look kind of cool, or am I going to maybe go through hours and hours of work only to find out that I've accidentally broken the wire off of the LED, and it's not going to work anyway? But it's a thought, and I think it's actually a good thought. There could well be enough room in there. I mean, this wire is incredibly thin, and it would run. We would be viewing the. Let's see, which way would it be? It would be like this. Okay, we would be viewing it like this, so the wire could run out the back way. This could still be together, and if this was a 1/10 of a millimeter apart, I don't think it's going to make any difference to the way it's held together in the hull of the ship. Okay, I think I beat that to death, didn't I? Let's just, for the fun of it, hook 3 volts onto this and see what it looks like. Okay, it wasn't a big hardship here to dig out my power supply, and that way I can adjust this to 3 volts. And I know I don't have too much. I think this is fairly accurate. At least it's touted to be accurate. Okay, now, this is supposed to be the red one. If we trace the lines back, it looks like it's these two right here. Now, I'm going to hope that they are already sort of bared on the end. Okay, Martin has marked the darker wire is positive. I'm going to have to put on my strong glasses here. I'll try not to get my nose in the field of view. Okay, so I suppose I could actually hook some sort of a probe into this thing rather than using these, but this should work. Okay, so the darker one, which would be the darker one? I think it is the one closest to me is the darker one. Now, I don't think I would do anything if I accidentally let these things touch, but let's try and be careful and not do that. Okay, so the one closer to me looks like it's the darker one. Let's just put this on here and touch this on this one. Are we going to get light? Okay, I'm probably going to have to take and use a sanding stick and maybe well, maybe I got it the wrong way around. Maybe that wasn't the darker one. Let's just switch our polarity here. Now these wires may not be bare. They've got a very thin coating of insulation. This is sort of painted on. I think they're sort of almost, you might say, dipped. Okay, I'm going to have to. Okay, let's quit wasting time here and make sure we got a bare wire here. I think that should do it, at least on one side of the wire. Okay, I'm hoping that this will sort of tin that wire. Okay, being very careful now not to let these two touch. I seem to be having a problem making a connection here. These are the wires that come from our red one, and if the color coding on these wires is the same as on all the others, this one closest to you here should be the positive. But we're just not seeming to be able to make contact here. See that this one works. If we go over here, this one works. And now this is the darker wire, so it's got to be the positive wire. I'm going to have to just move this one over. Maybe I'll just switch here. Okay, so let's just go like this and like this. Okay, the green one works. Try not to get my hands in your vision here. Now the white one, have to switch back here. I could have probably rigged up probes that were a lot better than what I'm doing, but anyway. Now, can you still see there? This is the white one right here. And if I get the contact, it works. But the red one, I just can't get it to go. Just will not go. So I may have damaged it. If I did, I'm sorry, Martin. And that's the one we wanted, that was the red one. So, okay, well, it was a thought, wasn't it? It was a thought, yeah. Okay, before I clean up the mess I've made here, I just want to see if I can spot maybe one of the little connections has come off of the LED. I mean, this would look even real small with the macro lens. I'm going to have to turn it this way. Okay, let's make sure I'm looking at the red one. Now, very gently here. You know what? Maybe I'll put the macro lens on, and you'll kind of be able to see it, but not really. When I'm looking at it, it's as big as this right here. Through that, but it's amazing. I don't know how they can solder that small, but they did. Okay. Good old macro lens. Okay, very carefully now. I just want to sort of turn this over if I can so I can see the wire on the other side. It doesn't want to turn over. Maybe I should be using something a little bit different other than this blade. Maybe my pointing stick here might grab it a little better. Okay, something came flying off of there. What was that? Oh, that looks like maybe a piece of flux or something. Okay, no, the connections. Now, I don't want to go poking at this and break it. The connections are good. I can see that the connections are on there. It's soldered. It's not broken. Now there is one more thing I can try here. I can take my makeshift probe and just attach it here and here on the wires close up and see if it will light. That's about the only thing I can do here at this point, because yeah, this is definitely soldered good. But if I keep poking at it, I'm going to get metal fatigue going on here. Okay, let's try that. We'll just touch back here a little bit and see what happens. I just realized that if I get rid of the microscope, I lose my overhead light here. Okay, so I should be cutting through the positive wire, and I'm going to just do the negative wire now. Are we going to get any kind of... I want to watch that I don't cut it off. I just want to make contact. Okay, that should be through, and that one should be through. Okay, there's something wrong with the LED. I'm almost sure there's something wrong with the LED, because I got my polarity right. Yeah, that should be making contact, and nothing's happening. Okay, sorry, Martin. I don't know what I did. Now you can see that the green one works. I just want to make sure I had everything hooked up right. Yeah, okay. I just got an email from our friend Gabe, and as most of you will remember, he's our local, you might call it, resident paint expert. Anyway, he sent a chart here where you can select different colors and then find a match for it. So here, if we go on the Mr. Color, we can go down and find number 104 here. Okay, 104, gun chrome. Click on it, and up it gives you all the different matches for Tamiya. Now I think you can also change and have it, instead of a match for Tamiya, you could have it for something else here. It's yeah, it looks like a pretty good program. It's called Model Shade. Yeah, it might be something you might be interested in saving, or at least remembering. So anyway, interestingly, gun chrome C104, which is probably going to be coming on Monday. We tried the XF23, the light blue. Well, it only gets 2 stars. Well, I kind of thought already that didn't look like what the deck of the submarine should look like. But then they've got other ones here. XF19, I'm noticing, gets 4 stars, and I know we've got some of that. We might have the 21, and we might have the 11. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these three little bottles of the 104 that's coming. On the other hand, it might be just absolutely perfect. So we'll see what happens. In the event it's not, well, we can try something else. So this is basically what the deck is supposed to look like. And that sort of makes sense. Anyway, now speaking of our friend Gabe, he's planning on coming Tuesday. And he mentioned that he might do a demonstration of paint pens. At least I think that's what he was talking about. So we've got that to look forward to. Okay, just thought I'd put you onto this. Yeah, modelshade.com. Okay, this is a real good program, or app, I guess they call them now. Okay, I will try to remember to put the link for that app in the description of today's episode. Yeah, it'll be down at the bottom. Now, that 56 is just too dark. I don't want to use it. I'd use it if I had absolutely nothing else. And the light blue, as it's called here, the 23, it actually looks believable. But I think that we're going to be able to do better. And I want to wait until our paint comes. According to Canada Post, it should be here on Monday. And then we'll see what we've got. In the meantime, there is stuff that we can do here. So, all right, let's move on here. Maybe we'll paint that little light red instead of trying to use a red LED. Yeah. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to work. We've painted the bottom part of this, or I guess it would be the top part of this light, and I'm holding onto it with the tweezer right now by the peg that actually goes into the side of the bulkhead. But I'm going to have a hard time painting this red if the tweezer is sort of in the road there. And the plan is to take this thing and stick it painted side down. I don't think that the, see, I've got to grab it with something here. What can I grab it with? Tony's tweezers won't hurt it, but I can't find them. Oh, here they are. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Maybe the Tony's tweezers are too big. Okay. I didn't want to use this because I was afraid I'd scratch it, but then on the other hand, okay, let's get it right in the dead center of that rotating block there, just like that. Sort of poke it down. You know, I'm wondering if maybe I had made a hole in that tape. It would be a little bit more secure. So let's just set that there for the time being. Whoops. Okay. And get ourselves a pin here. Okay, it's always good when I can bleep out the dead spots when I go looking for something. Now, I was going to drag this all the way through, but I think it might make the hole too big. Well, let's check it out and see. I don't think so. No. Okay, let's get this in place there. Oh, maybe it did make the hole too big. No, that should be fairly solid. I should be able to brush it with a paintbrush and not knock it over. That's the whole idea of this. Okay, let's recompose here. Maybe we'll slip on the macro lens. Okay. Now, I wish I could rig up a switch on this thing so that I could get it to rotate the other way. Okay, the plan is to be able to paint it as it's rotating. Am I going to be able to go down carefully, or is this not a good idea? Let's give it a try here. All right, I'm gonna turn it off. and do it like this. Just turn it by hand. I don't want to go over top of that flange. Okay, now the part that I went too far down is that's the part that's going to be up against the bulkhead, because you can see the positioning peg there. I think possibly my brush is drying out. Just rehydrate a bit there. Oh, I went too far down. Oh, okay. You know what? This is going to be the other way up anyway. Nobody's going to be able to see that. Okay, let's quit while we're not too far behind. Okay, now this piece here, we want to paint the wheels green. And I have 2 or 3 different kinds of green. So I want to do a bit of a test. And there's also something else I wanted to do this afternoon. So I'm going to call today's episode quits. And thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.